Hey guys, it's David from Automotive Press. As you guys know, I love trucks in general, whether it's pickup trucks or truck-based SUVs. They are practical, they're really fun to own, and I use them for all kinds of things, whether it's fishing or camping or whatever. They make so much more sense. But in the last several years, there has been a huge shift in terms of what defines a pickup truck, because we have car-based trucks for the first time, starting with the Honda Ridgeline, which has been around for a while. And then Ford Maverick came out, which kind of really moved the market because everyone loves the Maverick, mainly because it's affordable and it looks cute and still provides lots of practicality as a truck. And then now for a couple of years, we also have a Hyundai Santa Cruz, which looks more like a sporty car than a pickup truck. So all these vehicles have begun to redefine the market, and people may be a bit confused as to what pickup trucks really stand for. But they're also very happy that we have more options because there are so many advantages to having a car-based truck versus a frame-based truck. And I know you might say these are not pickup trucks because they're not based on body on frame, but actually the real definition of pickup truck is simply that it has actual bed in the back. And this one has a bed in the back. So even though it's based on car-based unitized body, it is still by definition a pickup truck. And you might argue with me forever about this one, but you know what? If it has a pickup bed, it is a truck. And it's really an interesting time in the marketplace now because people are actually accepting these car-based trucks as trucks, and they're actually buying them like crazy, especially the Ford Maverick. So let me talk about this particular one because I actually think of all the car-based trucks that includes the Ridgeline and the Ford Maverick, I actually like the Hyundai Santa Cruz the best in terms of city use because I actually think the Santa Cruz is a perfect small city pickup truck. So let me give you 5 reasons why I think this might be the perfect one. Let's go. Welcome back. So yes, I actually do think that the Hyundai Santa Cruz, more so than the Honda Ridgeline or even the Ford Maverick, makes a perfect small city pickup truck or utility vehicle. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why. But before I do that, let's just do my usual quality check here. This is built in the US in the Hyundai Alabama plant. You can tell by the VIN number, which is the first character, which is 5, which denotes that it's a US build. So let's take a look at the quality of the alignment and gaps. It's 3.9 millimeter here, 3.5 millimeter here. Actually pretty good gap and alignment here. It's a little bit wider than I would like to see, but not bad. And better here at 3.2 millimeter. And it's 3 millimeter here, which is quite phenomenal. And then over here is 3.2 millimeters. So actually the gaps are really good. The alignment is also very good, not perfect, but I think good enough. Like you see a little bit off here, but just a tiny bit. I wouldn't be too critical there because it's almost perfect. Just a gap here, maybe a little bit bigger than I like. So I think it's overall very good. Maybe obviously not quite as good as some of the more expensive cars from Japan, but not bad at all. But what about the paint job? Well, I do admit that there's a fair amount of orange peel. As you would see in most Asian cars, they have lots of orange peel. So this one also has a lot of orange peel. But the gloss and the overall paint quality is good. I really like this paint. It's kind of like a military green color, but it's got lots of sparkles. The flakes of a different color. So beautiful paint. And again, a bit more orange peel than I like. What about the paint thickness? Let's go and check in the front. All right, let's check the paint thickness, starting with the front hood, which is 145 microns. That's pretty thick, actually. Usually I want the paint to be between 100 to 150. Thicker the better, obviously. 115, that's pretty well the norm. Most Toyota cars are around 100 to 115 as well. 135, and we'll do 2 more check. 129, and let's do 1 more here, rear fender. 119. So actually it's a little bit thicker, not by much, but a little bit thicker than your typical Toyota vehicle. Most Toyota cars are between 100 to 150, maybe 120 at the most. But I notice especially the hood here is a little bit thicker, so I like that. That would give you a little bit more durability in terms of the paint if you get a stone or something hitting the hood. And also I noticed that in terms of paint matching between the plastic component and the metal component is really good. You can't even tell that this is plastic and this is metal. So actually overall I think I'm pretty happy with the quality. Let's jump in and take a look at the inside as well. Okay, so I'm inside the Santa Cruz now, and the first thing I want to point out is that for 2025 it has gone through some very important refresh, including now a new infotainment system here. We have two 12.3 inches placed together, so nice big one uniform design here. There's some other minor changes as well in terms of materials and also color outside. And I still think that in terms of interior design, Hyundai really lead the pack because they have a beautiful design. This one has a bit of a fabric feel all the way here, also a little bit of fabric here. It's just really gorgeous. We get proper buttons here, and even though this is kind of a haptic touch, it feels pretty good. It doesn't feel strange, and it's not glossy black. We have a little bit of glossy black here, but overall it's just a beautiful design. I'm just looking for some potential issues, but Hyundai engineers were clever enough to design things so that everything fits well with no actual gaps. And they also designed this with the line over here, and you can see the line stretches to the door side on both sides. And that's a bit of a daring design because if the doors are slightly misaligned, you'll see them right here and it's easy to spot. But even with that potential design challenge, they managed to build it with a perfect alignment where the lines go through all the way and lines up perfectly. So interior quality looks good. If I do my punch test, everything is actually really solid. And thankfully, these are soft plastics, even here on the top, which is unusual because Toyota has moved to a kind of all hard plastic design, and I really don't like that. They should have kept some of the softer plastic, and thankfully for Hyundai, almost everything is soft plastic or this fabric with very little hard plastic, just a little bit here. So kudos to Hyundai for not making the interior look cheap. I wish that Toyota actually learned a lesson from Hyundai for that reason, because the interior looks amazing. Now let me come back to the 5 reasons why I think this is a perfect little city pickup truck. I'll show you what I mean by that outside. All right, so I'm back outside with the Santa Cruz, which has gone through some very major refresh, and I really like the new design. If you notice, these blocks coming from the hood here carries on to here, and this looks like a headlight, but actually the real headlights is down here. That's kind of clever engineering, and headlights are actually better lower than higher, so they don't blind the drivers coming this way. So that's a good design. But what I was trying to say is the fact that this kind of crossover pickup truck design, to me, it's actually quite a beautiful design. Like I said, years ago, decades ago, we had cars like a Chevy El Camino, and even Subaru had a really cute and funky crossover pickup truck as well. So back in those days, we had those type of vehicles, and I think this is the closest to the original formula of having a real car-based body with a pickup bed. So if you notice, this is actually quite sporty. It drives really sporty as well, which I'll talk about in a second. So really from here onward, it looks like any other kind of sporty sedan or sporty crossover with a lower profile. And you have a neatly integrated rear design with interesting C-pillar that kind of angles this way. So it doesn't really look like a pickup bed from a side. It looks more like a sporty vehicle of some kind. Yet you have a pretty decent 4-foot bed in the back. And because of that, it is considered a pickup truck as well. So I like the fact that it is a crossover design. It's more car looking than it is truck looking. But for many people who don't want to be seen in a pickup truck because they think it's just too old fashioned and too classic, well, this is perfect because it doesn't look like a pickup truck at all. And in fact, I would say the design is actually quite beautiful. The second reason why I think this is really truly a perfect city pickup truck, even more so than, let's say, Ford Maverick or especially the Honda Ridgeline, because those are bigger, quite a bit bigger for that matter. Whereas this one is a really compact size. It's based on Hyundai Tucson, and because of that, size in terms of width, in terms of height, in terms of length, is pretty compact. It is the smallest pickup truck or car-based truck, and because of that, it's easy to get around. I just found it very easy to park, and in a busy place like Vancouver where parking is limited, it's hard to park, you have no problem. And because it's very low, much like a normal car, you don't have to worry about height clearance as well. So I really like the compact dimension, and because it's a car-based versus truck-based, you still get a decent size inside. It's actually quite roomy, it's comfortable, and you don't have too much compromise in interior like a lot of the pickup trucks out there, because when you have a body on frame, the frame takes up so much space that you compromise the interior spacing and interior capacity, which is not the case with Santa Cruz. Now let's hop in and go for a drive, because the third and fourth reason why I love this vehicle is the fact that it drives like a sporty sedan or sporty crossover. The fourth reason why I really liked Santa Cruz in terms of being a perfect city truck is because of the way it drives. There's no way that traditional pickup trucks can match the agility and the handling and the feel of something like this, because it's a car-based SUV. It sits low. It's based on a Tucson platform. and it has a really good handling. It corners well, as you can tell, it stays flat. Pickup trucks are notorious for having a terrible handling, although they improved a lot over the years. And it's just kind of fun to drive. It has a really good steering feel. It's not numb, it's not disengaged. I have lots of feedback from my road. It has a bit of a weight as well. If I do this, move left and right, quick response. So you just don't get that in any body on frame trucks. You cannot get that in terms of engineering because the body is separated from the frame. And this one, particularly because it sits low and it's based on a car platform, handles particularly well. I have to say that I enjoy driving this, which you cannot say for most pickup trucks. And even if I compare to Ford Maverick and also the Honda Ridgeline, this one has a better feedback in terms of steering. It's also a little bit more agile and it stays flat. Ford Maverick and the Honda Ridgeline both are actually pretty good handling vehicles as well because they're both car-based. But this one is the best one among the three and far better than frame-based traditional pickup trucks. And because it's a car-based truck, you also get a really smooth ride, very comfortable ride, and the fact that this is very refined and smooth. If you go over a bumpy road, it stays planted, it doesn't lose its composure. Whereas most pickup trucks, even the brand new redesigned Tacoma, really struggles over a bumpy road. They lose their agility, they lose their composure, and a lot of the vibrations come through the vehicle. And just because they're based on trucks, you just cannot improve that. It's just not possible. But car-based trucks in general do much better. But this one in particular has a comfortable ride. Even compared to Honda Ridgeline and Ford Maverick, they all actually do pretty well. But most of all, I like the predictable handling, very balanced feel, a good feedback in terms of steering. And then most passengers say, wow, this is quiet and comfortable and refined. Is it really a truck? And I say, yeah, it's got a pickup bed. So by definition, it is a truck. So those are some of the things that I really like, and you have to kind of drive it to believe it. So go and drive a normal pickup truck like a Nissan Frontier or a Toyota Tacoma or any of the American products as well. Go and drive a Jeep Gladiator. Then come back and drive this one, and you'll be a pleasant surprise because it's compact, it's fun to drive, it's very predictable, easy to drive, easy to maneuver, making this one of the best, most ideal small compact truck for a city dweller like myself, who may not need a big pickup truck's capacity in terms of towing or pickup bed size. I think this is kind of the perfect size and a perfect truck. So after taking this out for a drive, you know that the number one reason why I love this is the fact that it drives like a sporty crossover, and none of the other pickup trucks, even car-based ones, can match this one in terms of overall performance. However, the last point is very important because it needs to be a truck, so it needs to be practical, and I'm going to show you why I like this format. So it's a very light tailgate, is dampened as well, so it comes down slowly. And then this is the interesting part. This is standard equipment. It's got a sliding tonneau cover, which is always optional on any other pickup bed. So if you buy a Ford Maverick or a Honda Ridgeline or all the other regular pickup trucks, none of them come standard with a tonneau cover. You have to kind of choose what you want. And none of them offers this type of sliding ones as a standard feature, but this one does. So if you just push this, it slides, and you can stop it anywhere in the truck. So it stops here. So if I then push this further, it'll keep sliding all the way until it hits the back, and now it's fully open, and you lose a little bit of space because this part here houses this because it's coiled inside. Now you can get this type of cover for other pickup trucks as well, but because those have a big pickup bed, it's kind of awkward. You can't reach it and close it. But this one comes with a standard tether belt here, so I can pull it and close it again. And it's got sufficient capacity here. They can put something on top as well. So let me open again because I wanted to show you that this is a composite pickup bed, because again, it's a car-based, and it's surprisingly deep. And it's only 4 foot long, but you can actually keep the tailgate open and put something longer here as well. But also you get this one here, which is open. And you can use this as a small kind of trunk, and also has a drain hole, so you can put ice and drinks in there if you want, and drain this a little bit later on. So it's not very big. It's much smaller than what you see in the Honda Ridgeline, but it's actually still quite practical, and it's sealed. So you got a proper rubber gasket, it doesn't get wet. And so it's way better designed than your normal pickup trucks, which doesn't even have a hidden compartment like this. So I think it's very practical, and even though it's not a huge pickup bed here, most of us don't need a huge cargo space here. We just want to pick up, let's say, soils, or let's say for me, fishing gears. And for me, I think this is a perfect size, and I can store something underneath as well. It's water sealed. So I actually think this is a perfect city pickup truck, because most of us don't need a big pickup truck. They're just wasteful sometimes. And of course, if you go for bigger trucks, they're also really hard to park and they're expensive. And in many cases, they're gas guzzlers. This is very fuel efficient. The two engine choices that we have are both quite efficient, and they both drive well, although I would highly recommend the 2.5 turbocharged engine, which is what I have on this one, because it just drives so much better. So I hope you enjoyed my little review about this cute city compact crossover type pickup truck. It is still a truck, it is still practical, but drives like a sporty sedan or sporty crossover, and no other pickup truck out there can compete with the Santa Cruz in terms of handling, in terms of refinement, smoothness, and basic driving character. I really enjoy driving this, and you know that I love trucks, and I've owned many trucks, but lately I'm finding more and more that I don't really need a big pickup truck, or even the mid-sized ones like Tacoma. It's also kind of big these days. So for me, if I were to buy a small truck for city use and I want to just move some stuff around between my boats and my home, the Santa Cruz is actually perfect, and I'm seriously considering buying it because it meets all my needs with a fuel-efficient engine and especially fun to drive character, which is very important. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, make some comments, and if you haven't done so yet, would you kindly subscribe as well. Until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.